Rapunzel and the Seven Dwarves.
Far away in the northern piney woods, there lives a storyteller named Maynard Moose. Every full moon in the forest, the animals come from near and far to hear him tell the old Mother Moose tales handed down so long ago. Young and old, big and small, fur and feather, the woodland creatures gather round and settle down on moss and branch and log to listen.
Did you ever hear a story that would go on, and when you would get to the end, you would scratch your hairs and ask yourself, gee, what was that all about? And no matter how much you would ask yourself, you still would not know? Well, here is a story just like that. It is called Rapunzel and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a girl named Rapunzel with long, long goldy hair. Her hair was so long that it dragged out from behind of her along the ground. It get dragged through mud puddles, and kids run over it on their bicycles, and it becomes extremely filthified, all full of sticks and twigs and little nastified wedgies of glop. This was driving Rapunzel bananas. So one day she decided to go to the witch's place to see if there was some kind of magic spell or gel that could keep her hairs clean. The witch tried everything. She tried spells, and she tried gels, and even a beehive hairdo. But nothing worked, so instead she locked Rapunzel away in a tall, tall tower to keep her hairs from dragging on the ground. And every day the witch would come to the bottom of the tower, and she would say, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, goldy fair, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down the hair." And Rapunzel will let down her hair, and the witch would climb up and give her something to eat. Well, one day there come along a handsome prince, riding on a snow-white moose, a noble beast. And the prince peek out from behind a tree, and he see how the witch call up to Rapunzel, and how she climb up the hairs and then back down again. So when the witch go away, the prince decide he is going to try the same thing. The handsome prince, he tiptoe to the bottom of the tower, and he say it real quiet, 'cause he don't want the witch to hear him and turn him into a toad or something. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, goldy fair, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down the hair." But he don't say the words loud enough for Rapunzel to hear him real good. Her think him say, "let down a pear." And so she fling a big juicy pear out the window. Splot! It hit the prince right on the shoe. He get out his little monogram princely hanky, and he wipe off the shoe, and then he try again. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, goldy fair, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down the hair." But this time Rapunzel sneeze just when he say hair, and she think he say, "let down your chair." So she fling a big heavy chair out the window. The chair hit the prince on the head, and he was knocked unconscionable. All of his previous incarcerations fly by his eyeballs. When he wake up again, he try one more time. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, goldy fair, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down the hair." Well, this time Rapunzel hear him real good. Her let the hair all the way down, and the handsome prince start to climb up. But the prince, he was a little bit chubbified. The prince, he weighed 512 pounds. The handsome prince was so heavy, when he start to climb up the hairs, he flip Rapunzel right out the window. Her go sailing through the air and land in the duck pond. Splash! Well, about that time, the seven dwarfs come by, on their way home from digging gold in the mountain. There was Clumsy, Snoozy, Cheerful, Fearful, Hyper, Hungry, Griselda, Ambidextrous, and sometimes Bewildered. There were 8 or 9 seven dwarfs. So the 8 or 9 seven dwarfs see Rapunzel in the duck pond, and they do not want her to drownify herself, no. So they haul her out of the duck pond, and when Rapunzel tells them about how she has been locked up in the tower, the dwarfies decide to hide her away so the witch can't find her. because they are very worried the witch will become extremely angrified when she finds out that Punzel has run away. So through the forest they go, through the forest they go, until Punzel's long goldy hair get all snaggled up in a bramble bush, and she is stuck fast and cannot move. Well, the only way to set her free is to cut her hairs off. So they shave Punzel bald as a bowling ball. Well, just then the full moon starts to rise, and the full moon shining on the top of Punzel's head make a little magic mirror there, like a shiny crystal ball. The Dwarfies all gather round in a circle, and they say, "Mirror, mirror, on Punzel's head, is the witch alive or dead?" And a picture of the witch float into view. She is extremely angrified, hopping up and down, smashing teacups and crockeries and kicking the cat. "Run away from me, will you, Punzel?" she yelled. "Well, I'll fix you." "Quick, quick," say the Dwarfies, and they lead Punzel away through the forest until they get to their little dwarfy hovel, and there they lock the door. Well, next morning, bright and early, off again go clumsy, snoozy, cheerful, fearful, hyper-hungry Griselda, ambidextrous, and sometimes bewildered, to dig gold in the mountain. "Now you be careful, Punzel," they say. "You stay inside and don't open the door." But meanwhile, the witch disguises herself as an old rhinoceros and comes through the forest with a wheelbarrow full of poisoned watermelons. And every time she loses the way, she uses her magical extrasensory deceptions. "Mirror, mirror on a stick, show me the Dwarfy's house real quick." And off on a new path she would go. Finally, she get to the Dwarfy hovel and knock on the door with the fake rhino horn. Bonk, bonk. Punzel peek out the window. "Hello?" "Hello," say the witch. "It's me, the friendly forest rhinoceros. Would you like a bite of one of my poisoned tasty watermelons?" Oh boy, say Punzel. "Watermelons is my favorite fruit, yum!" And her take big bite of watermelon and fall down dead. But don't worry, she was not really dead. She take such a big bite of watermelon, it stick in her throat, and she do not swallow it all the way. So instead of being dead, she just fell into a endless poisoned watermelon sleep. Well, when the Dwarfies come back from digging gold in the mountain and find Punzel unconscionable in an endless sleep, they do not know what to do. Everybody is sad, even cheerful. But pretty soon, the Dwarfies get an idea. They put her in a big glass box and charge all the animals 25 cents to come and see her. All the forest animals line up to have a look. Well, the Sleeping Punzel Museum is a big success. Dwarfies don't have to dig for gold no more. Clumsy, snoozy, cheerful, fearful, hyper-hungry Griselda, ambidextrous, and sometimes bewildered, live on Easy Street. But one day, who should come along once more but the handsome prince, riding on the snow-white moose. And the moose did not look where it was going and trip over the glass case and smash it to smithereens. Punzel wake up. She cough out the piece of watermelon. And when she see the noble, kindly, handsome moose leaning over her, she give him big kiss on the nose. "My hero," say Punzel. And Punzel and the moose ride off into the sunrise, and they lived happily for never afterwards. And as for the handsome prince, he go marry the witch, and they live in the tall, tall tower happily for never afterwards. And as for the Dwarfies, they go back to digging gold in the mountain. Clumsy, snoozy, cheerful, fearful, hyper-hungry Griselda, ambidextrous, and sometimes bewildered for never afterwards. And the moral of that story is, if you have long, long goldy hairs that drag out from behind of you along the ground, then you should always, The moral of that story is, if you get flipped out a window and land in a duck pond, you should always remember that, let's see. The moral of that story is, there ain't no moral to some stories at all.